Hi, friends. I'm Emily Lay, and you're listening to the Simplified podcast. If you're looking for a place to let go of holiday perfection so you can enjoy this season at your own pace, then welcome. I'm glad you're here. Every week, I invite you to slow down and join me to explore how to simplify, organize, and automate the complicated parts of life so that you can truly focus on what matters most. That's right, you guys. We're going to be talking about how to simplify your holiday season. To make sure you have all the tools, even after you leave our podcast today, Team Simplified is leading us in a holiday simplicity challenge right at this very moment. For the next couple weeks, Team Simplified will help you take hold of the season and make it your own. With one 15-minute task a day that'll take a little pressure off your day and reap huge rewards for your brain. So come and join us. You can find the Holiday Simplicity Challenge on Instagram and on Facebook at Simplified Today. Hello, and a happy I'm going to hear Mariah Carey in every single store I walk into for the next 2 months season to you. You know I'm right. If you're listening to this episode when it comes out, we are only a few days into November, but it already feels like Halloween was 6 months ago because the Christmas season is back. The ads, the music, the sudden urge to put peppermint in everything. I love Christmas, like with my whole heart. I love the lights, I love the food, the movies, the hot chocolate, the gingerbread houses, and finding perfect gifts and watching my kids shriek and giggle through Christmas morning while Brian and my parents sip coffee and watch it all happen. I really do. But like I said a few weeks ago, back in episode 34, sometimes during the holiday season, it can feel like you have a part-time job, like you are one of Santa's elves trying to keep the magic going for everyone in your life on top of just making it through your regular day. But you know what? That is not your job. It's not your job to shoulder the holiday merriment by yourself for everyone else in your life. It's just not. Even if you have kids, you are not on Santa's payroll, so you can take that burden right off your shoulders. It can feel so easy to slip into that mindset, though. I've done it a million times. That is why during the holiday season, I'm dedicating so much of my podcasts and social spaces to talk about how to make the holidays more simple. Because here's the thing. We can make the holidays too complicated when we pay too close attention to what other people are doing or what they say we should be doing to get the most out of the season. It's like vitamins, you guys. They're good for us, no doubt about it. But sometimes some people need more B12 than others. Some people need to take zinc or more vitamin D, but that doesn't mean you do. When it comes down to it, don't forget our number one rule to make your life more simple. Do what matters most to you and forget the rest. And I'll tell you what, the holiday season is the perfect time to name what matters for you and your family and forget the rest of it. No one has taught me better at these kinds of things than my mom, Stephanie. But we call her Nana around my house, so that's what I'm going to call her here. For as long as I can remember, my mom has made the holidays really magical for our family. My mom and dad both worked full-time, and it was my brother, who is 4 years younger than me, and myself, and my parents did a lot to involve our extended family, to balance my mom's side of the family with my dad's side of the family and doing things with both, and to have those special memories in our own home. Everything from having a movie night to making a little hot chocolate bar. All those things were so special and just made the holidays really memorable. And they weren't big or fancy, but they were really, really, really meaningful. So I cannot wait for you to learn from my mom. Nana has great ideas about everything, but especially when it comes to the holidays and how to make it all happen in the most simple but magical way. And for those of you with little ones who are trying to figure out what matters most to you, then listen up. Nana was a teacher for 38 years, so she knows what kids actually care about during the holidays. She knows which traditions and activities they'll remember when they're grown, so stay tuned for that. You guys, we talked about it all today. Everything from gifts to decorating to traditions, and even talked about how to involve kids in the special parts of the season and how to really make the most of your time so that you are not overwhelmed and can truly enjoy the holiday season yourself. So grab a mug of peppermint hot chocolate and settle in. It's time to talk about how to simplify the holidays with Nana. Hi, Nana.
Hi, Emily.
Hi. It's when people say my whole name, Emily, like that. It's like when Brian calls me Emily, and I feel like I'm in trouble.
No,
Nobody
that
calls
would
me that.
be Emily Suzanne.
Emily Suzanne Lay. All right. Well, hi, Nana. I'm so glad for you to join us. Everyone loves Nana. Whenever Nana comes on, it's always our most viewed video or our most listened to Facebook Live. When I posted on Instagram about guests to have on, everyone requested Nana. And not just because Nana's brilliant, but because I think a lot of people grew up without a mom that put so much thought and care into all of the little things. And so I think a lot of people love to learn from you for that reason. So thank you for learning how to use Zoom and for coming on. And you guys, if you are listening on the podcast, you can also go over to our YouTube channel. My kids are very impressed that I have a YouTube channel and watch Nana and I have our conversation. So Mom, what about like when it comes to decorating your house? Like you and I, like when you come over to my house, I always get a little nervous to make sure like there's no junk because Nana will come over to your house and tell you to simplify that stuff. That's where I learned. That's where I developed my own passion for organizing and making life easier and simple. But we also love a beautifully decorated home for Christmas. So, what are your tips for decorating and making it meaningful, but also like not cluttering up the space and making it overwhelming?
Don't decorate around your clutter. It's
Mm-hmm.
just going to be a mess. You're not gonna see your decorations as
Yeah.
well. You're not going to enjoy them as well.
And you're going to be overwhelmed by it. And it took me a couple years of having my own house to realize, like, oh, you have to undecorate before you decorate. Otherwise, you just have a whole bunch of stuff in your house.
What I do is all our Christmas boxes are upstairs in the attic, and we're lucky enough to, when we built this house, to have a walk-in room with shelves all the way around, and that's where our Christmas things are stored. So we bring them down. I don't open up any boxes until I'm ready to decorate with those particular things. When I get ready to decorate the mantle, which is usually the first thing I do because I get the biggest impact, and I'm like, oh yes, this is good,
Right.
and it motivates me going.
Yeah.
So I put all the mantle things away. I decorate the mantle with those few things. It's usually a garland, and I have a Lindsay letter, big picture that I put up there, and some lights and a
Candles.
few candles.
Yeah.
And so that's enough. I also have two, and you've probably seen them in other things that we've done, two giant toy soldiers that go
Oh,
on
they're
each side.
so good.
I love
Where'd you
them. They're my
find those?
I've seen them at Hobby Lobby.
Okay.
Um, these came off of QVC years
Oh,
and
that's
years
right.
ago.
That's right.
But it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing to put out, and it's like big, and
Yeah.
there it is.
So that's a good point, though, that like when you're decorating for the holidays or even just decorating your house for anything, like a lot of times we'll be like, it's Christmas, it's time to decorate. Let's go to the store and buy 19 little things for the new, this new Christmas season and bring them home. But those things never last. And so what I try to do is when we moved into this house, I got a couple like basic quality timeless things that are kind of large, like a big garland for our staircase or that Lindsay Letters, the big Silent Night canvas that we have from her. Like I invested in a couple of things, and then every year I try to build on that. So adding one or two good, big quality, not little tiny tchotchke things, right?
And exactly, and those things that you didn't use for them, you maybe you used them last year, or maybe the lights don't work anymore, or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. Throw them away right then,
Yeah.
or put them back in the box. And when you undecorate, say, well, I didn't use these this year, I'm going to donate them, or I'm going to throw them away, they're too old, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how you clear the clutter of Christmas decorations, is as you're taking things out and putting them up, or as you're
Yep.
undecorating, get rid of it. If you didn't use it, you're not going to use it if it just stays in that box. Another thing
Right.
is, you don't have to decorate every room.
Right. Yeah.
The room you are going to be in the most
Mm-hmm.
and decorate it. I personally don't want to decorate the kitchen because I need all the kitchen space I can get.
Mm-hmm.
So I want my counters clear and so that I can do the Christmas cookies and the baking and, different
Mm-hmm.
things.
Yeah,
So,
we just decorate our living room and then like maybe put a cute little Christmas hand towel in the guest bathroom and we call it a day.
right. The
Otherwise,
hand,
it's just more stuff.
right. And you're going to have to move it. It's going to get broken or it's going to get
Yeah.
wet. Or another thing is like on your sofas, get the Christmas throw. I take the
Mm-hmm.
pillows that are on my couch and I go to Amazon and buy the covers and I just put the covers over those because
What? I
I
didn't know you
don't
did
need
that.
I need a closet full of, here's Christmas pillows,
Pillows.
here's Halloween pillows. Here, I just buy the covers and decorate the pillows that are already on my couch.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger.
We talk we talk about like evening routines and how your morning self will thank you for what you did in the evening, like prep the coffee pot or whatnot. And it's kind of like when you're cleaning up from Christmas one year, your next year Christmas self will thank you if you replace the broken bulbs and you got rid of the things that you don't use that take up valuable space in your Christmas boxes and that kind of thing. So do the things the year prior to set yourself up for success the following Christmas.
And make a list to put in that Christmas box that say, next year, look for new candle holders.
Oh, that's a good
Next,
idea.
for the bar. Or next year, look for new pillow covers.
And put
A
the
new,
list like on top of the stuff in the box. That's a good idea.
Mhm. And then when you're actually decorating, don't stop and run to the store and get a new set of lights.
It also is so like if you make a list like that and you keep it on your phone or something, that is
Exactly.
so good for when, Christmas and July sales come around or like the best time to buy. So we have a fake Christmas tree, as do you. The best time to
I
buy
love
a
it.
Christmas tree is January. Like everything goes on
Yeah.
sale. Buy it for the next year. We have a Balsam Hill. I had so many moderately priced Christmas trees that I got from random
Mhm.
places, and they would die. Like the middle of the lights would go out, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then so finally, we just waited for a sale at Balsam Hill, and we bought a Christmas tree, and we
And
loved it.
that's a good point. We have a tree that we love now. It always goes in the same corner. Well,
Mm-hmm.
right now there's a chair in that corner. Don't push the chair over and put the tree there. We take the chair out, put it in a bedroom, and put
Mm-hmm.
just the tree there. Another good tip I think is when you're decorating. Um, I decorate my dining room with my mom's Christmas china.
Mm.
Um, I used to set the whole table, but that's too much for me right now. So I just use special pieces and put those on the dining room table. But I decorate I put up the Christmas tree in the great room, but I don't decorate it for a couple of days. I do everything else. And then I go back to the tree and decorate it. And if something is broken that used to be on the tree, throw it away. You're not going to glue it back together one day. Yeah, it's sentimental, but you'll have to replace it or you're going to just have the memory and move on. Something else.
You and I kind of take the same approach to Christmas ornaments too. I think it's so beautiful when people have like a themed tree that has, all matching ornaments or whatnot. That's not how we roll. We'd put on it's beautiful ornaments from places we've traveled and whatnot, and then it's like our kids' random popsicle stick reindeer or whatever.
Our kids' Christmas star or angel with the star that's made out of a paper plate. I mean,
I
it's
made the
the
angel, Brett made the star.
star, the gold star. It's the most beautiful Christmas tree because it has all the things in it.
Yeah.
But there's ornaments, and don't just decorate the outside of your tree. Go in and put those ornaments
Mm-hmm.
into the
And don't
branches.
forget the back.
Oh yeah, but
Um,
decorate those insides, and it looks so pretty. My favorite thing to do is when it's all finished, is to lay on the couch and either put on a Hallmark movie or Christmas music, and just look at it.
yep.
Night after night after night. That's my favorite thing at Christmas.
So we
When
have a we have a group text in our family, and after like the day after Halloween, we'll start texting like, I'm going in. Are you going in? I'm putting mine up. And we
I'm
also
doing it.
say, come over here and do it for me.
And December 26th, it's down, gone, back
Oh
upstairs.
yeah, we love a Christmas season to last long, and we set up early. But the day it's over, it's over. And there are people on the internet that have strong opinions about this,
I
about when to
know.
take it down. I also love what you said about when you decorate it. You put the tree up and then you decorate your house, and then you go back and decorate the tree, and it's almost like then your space is done, and you can allow yourself the tradition of making some hot chocolate or making cookies and turn on the Christmas music, and then everyone decorates the Christmas tree together.
I try to invite everybody over for a tree
Nope.
decorating party. Nobody wants to come. Then I say, do you want to come for dinner? And they're
Then we
like, okay. Oh, look, a few ornaments. Get those on the tree. No,
well,
this year I'm going to get Caroline over here. She's going to help me decorate.
oh, Caroline loves to decorate. With the Lays will do just about anything for Nana's lasagna. So that's how it rolls. Okay, yeah,
And
another good
lasagna.
right. Another good tip is and this is a way to make your house feel homey and Christmassy, but without the clutter of stuff, is to bring in a scent, like a candle or baking cookies, or we like to do, I forget what it's called, but where you put oranges and apple cider and all of that on the stove and just let it simmer.
Cinnamon, cloves. And you
Mm-hmm.
can keep it for days because you're
Yep.
not going to do anything with it but throw it away.
So, what is your favorite Christmas tradition that we do as like an extended family, all of us?
I I have two, and one of them is the gingerbread houses.
Yep.
And here that changes a little bit.
Yeah.
It has gotten so competitive, and so I mean, we don't even know who our team is yet, but I'm sure there's three of us that are already looking up new ideas for Christmas
Okay,
gingerbread.
we have to give the backstory of this. So, when I guess it was when Brady was born, and you guys were all like my brother and his family, and my mom and dad, they were all coming down to Tampa to visit us and stay with us for Christmas week. And we wanted something really fun that Brady could get involved in as a little guy. We didn't have the twins yet. And so we divided up into teams. I think we did 3 teams. And every year the rules change a little bit, but it started with us just making simple gingerbread houses, and we would put them on social media and ask people to vote. It's turned into like one year Brian and his team, was it Brett? It was Brett, my brother, and
Brett
Brian.
and Brady.
And Brady,
Or
they
was
made
it
a
Tyler?
Whataburger.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made a Whataburger. And then I mean, we've gone all out. We did a Berenstein Bears house one year. All
I did
kinds
the
of fun
Grinch
things.
house last year.
Oh, the Grinch house was a good one.
It was a good one.
So
Yeah.
everybody starts out with the same gingerbread house. It's just the inexpensive kind you can get at Walmart or Target or wherever, and we hot glue them together so that the base of the house is there. And then we've done different things where like everyone has access to the same candy and icing to decorate, or we did it last year where everyone brought their own. And I
Yeah.
mean, we had a group team text. It was Taylor and me and I think Brady.
Brady. Mhm.
Yes. And we were working for days just to get our accessories ready. So that's a
Well,
fun.
there's a giant trophy at the end.
And there's a trophy. We love the Cow and Lay family loves a trophy. That's true.
This is true.
We have a
Which
trophy.
reminds me, here's a good idea. If you have older children, when Emily and Brian lived in Tampa, they would come home for Christmas and they'd be here for, 5 days to a week. And so I was cooking all those meals and I was like, we've got to change this up somehow. So I decided to have a little friendly competition and I ordered medals, like Olympic medals.
Yep.
It was the Cowan family cook-off.
Yep.
And it was first place was the gold, second place was the silver.
Yep.
We divided into teams. It was a
Boys against
one who
girls.
could cook. It was one who could cook and one that could be a sous chef.
I'm a
And
really
so-
good table decorator. Listen.
Turned out to be boys against girls.
Yep.
Well, all you need to do is say competition and there's a medal or a trophy involved.
We were all in.
You had to decide on your menu. You had to go to the grocery store and get the groceries that you needed.
Mm-hmm.
You could use at my house anything, like spices or whatever I had, but the majority of the things you bought. you had to decorate, you had to have a theme, you had to decorate it, you had to prepare the food, and you had to clean up. And then we voted. And there was a score sheet.
There was a
You know,
score sheet.
yes, like
We
you
don't
got.
mess around. We don't. We Taylor and I did a taco night, so we did a full on fiesta with all the decorations and all the yummy things. And what did the boys do?
They did the green egg.
Oh, that's right.
And they made Paula Dean's Nacho Mama banana pudding.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, I'll never forget him in there laying those cookies out.
Banana pudding. That's so
But
funny.
what else? They did, I forget what y'all's names were. You were one year you were the little dumplings because, and dumplings.
Yep, that's right.
And then one year they were I don't remember their names, something about grilling.
But the whole idea here is like it was a fun tradition, a fun competition, but it also took the pressure off of you to have to feed,
And the expense.
and the expense, yeah, because there were nine of us, 8 of us then. So yeah, that's a fun thing to do. And then one other fun thing we do is our snack dinner.
Oh yeah.
We do a snack dinner on Christmas Eve.
We used to call it junk food dinner. Now they call it charcuterie, but we would have, now we would have all the things, but it wouldn't be, it'd be like meatballs and cheese dip and the little sausages and the apple jelly mustard sauce. And
that's such a good recipe.
And now what we do is we say, okay, in our group text, what are you bringing?
Yep.
And everybody brings a couple of things instead of doing the entire thing. Mm-hmm. And we do that and have a glass of wine. We do the gingerbread houses before, and then we do the junk food.
Yep, all on the same day.
And then another favorite tradition is when we read the night before Christmas.
And now
all the kids can read it.
Yep.
And Kennedy will soon.
Yep. My 3 can participate. And so what we do is we sit around after our snack dinner on Christmas Eve. We sit around in a circle and we have a copy of The Night Before Christmas, and we pass the book around and everyone gets a page. Pop reads his in a very silly way. The kids sometimes, last year they needed help, but this year they're going to be able to read their very own pages. Yep.
That's right.
That is a fun tradition as well. Okay, so let's talk about, do you have some fun ideas for moms of little ones? Like some kid things, some tips about how to make the holidays memorable and special for the kids, and what we should keep in mind as busy parents as we go through the holiday season.
I guess you can. I remember we used to all get in the van, and we might get your cousins with us or friends with us, and we would go around and look at Christmas lights and play Christmas music, and we would roll down the windows and sing the Christmas songs to the top of our lungs. Do you remember doing that?
For sure. Yep.
That doesn't cost anything to do. Another thing is, let's see. Little kids. Oh, we used to do a scavenger hunt. I just have a son and a daughter. So when they were growing up, Christmas morning went pretty fast. As much as we tried to slow it down, it went so fast. So whatever Santa brought them usually had to be put together, and it wasn't something you wanted to wrap. So it was hidden, and we did a scavenger hunt. And we sent these kids, it can be cold in Florida every once in a while. They went to the mailbox barefooted. They went upstairs. They looked in the dryer. There were clues that I would write. Sometimes I'd write them to a Christmas song, to the tune of You Better Watch Out, You Better Not Cry. And there were clues all throughout the song. And then sometimes I would just write clues and send them different places. But that would drag it out. And it because they were just racing. No, you got to get it last time. It's my turn. I
eventually caught on, and we would.
Everybody said, now go look at the dryer.
Go look at the dryer. Go look at the dryer.
Yeah, but they're never there. You never find it.
The Easter Bunny liked the dryer. Just saying.
Yeah.
What about?
We like
right. What about, well, let me first say this. So, we're going to do a deep dive into gift giving next week on the podcast. So, stay tuned for that. But I wanted to pick my mom's brain a little bit on this topic of gift giving because she's a gift giving wizard. So, Mom, well, you have to shop for a lot of people. And you were a busy mom. We were involved in sports and there were things going on. And so, like, how did you plan for purchasing gift giving? How did you plan for purchasing gifts, and how did you like stay on top of that, maybe not at the very last minute?
We had throughout the year at our credit union, we set up a Christmas club, and every month, so much of our, we had a designated amount that went into the Christmas club. And the way it's set up is you can't touch that until they give it to you November 11th or something. I forget the date. And that's when you can spend that money. So we used that money for all the food and the meals that we were going to prepare, and as well as gifts for our children, as well as each other, as well as other family members. I would shop because back then you didn't shop online. Right. I would hit stores when you were at ballet, or Brett was at swimming, or Brett was, at soccer, and because usually those things were close to a store or a mall. Mm-hmm. And then I'd have to hide them and
hope we didn't find them. So that's a good point. Like I love what you and Dad did in terms of budgeting for the whole, like all year you budgeted for Christmas. So you were constantly just putting money away so that at Christmas time, it wasn't like a big chunk to come out of what you were working with for the month. And then, right, we all do, right? Mm-hmm. We like to keep ideas on our phone. So Brian and I share a note on our phone, and it's like ideas for the kids. And we just write things in throughout the year. Brian's the most impossible person to buy for ever. And so when he mentions things throughout the year, yeah, I will write notes. And me, I'll write notes in my phone. And then you mentioned like hiding them or keeping them together. So that's a really good point, because a couple years ago, you might remember, it was Christmas morning. Mm-hmm. Yep, it was Christmas morning, and we were all giving each other our gifts. And I had purchased for Brian a Mont Blanc pen. He loves fancy pens. And so I had bought him a Mont Blanc pen months prior. Like there was some kind of deal or something. So I bought it months prior, and I hid it.
Wasn't it before you moved?
Well, yes, that's how the story ends. So it was in Tampa. And so Christmas morning, I'm digging under the tree to give Brian his gift. I'm digging. I can't find it. It's gone. And I'm like, I know I wrapped it. I guess I got so wrapped up in wrapping presents for the kids and everything else that I just forgot to wrap that one. Well, not only that, I forgot to find it. So I'm like, Brian, I have a gift for you. I just have to go find it. And so I tore our house apart and couldn't find it. Finally, I just told him what it was. I felt so bad. I told him what it was. I went and bought him another one to give to him like a few days later. And then like 8 months after that, we're packing our house to move to Pensacola. And lo and behold, in the guest room, in the closet, in the back, under a bunch of stuff, I find a Mont Blanc pen. So Brian has two. So the point of that story is keep everything in one place and maybe just tell your kids to stay out of said place.
Okay, keep a list of it too. You've got it on your phone already. So just, Yep. So when you're ready to go through that, make sure you found everything. Yeah, your grandmother was, your dad's mom was great at hiding presents. And we would always want to go back over there after Christmas. Before y'all were born, we'd want to go back over there like the next day. Because she'd be like, look, I found this. Look,
I do that all the time. Wait, I forgot. I have one more. Yep. Nope, that always happens. So this year in particular, Brian and I are trying to focus on buying gifts for our kids that are experiential versus more stuff, because they have a lot of stuff and we don't like clutter, and we don't need they have everything. So we're going to try to do some things for them that are like movie tickets, or maybe surprise them at the end with a trip that's going to happen later in the year, or tickets, maybe a membership to a museum or something. Do you have any ideas for people on ways that they can give gifts to their kids or to others that are not just more stuff coming into your house?
As grandparents, when I think of gifts, I don't want to give them things that have a lot of pieces
Mm,
because they're going to lose those pieces.
yeah.
I like to give them something that will teach them something. Like this year, I was thinking nobody uses a real watch anymore. You know, you've got your
Mm-hmm.
Apple Watch, you've got your digital, but you need to learn how to tell time.
Right.
A regular watch, a regular clock. So I thought maybe I'll get them each a watch,
Aw.
you know, so they could learn to tell time.
Right.
Of course, you know, if there was the perfect toy to buy a child, we'd all have it and you wouldn't have to buy it anymore. You know, you have to decide, do you want a lot of gifts
Right.
that cheaper, that have lots of parts that they're not going to keep up with, that you're going to end up throwing out? Or do you want to invest in something? And you can talk, you know, once your children are old enough to understand this, you can talk to them and say, look, we can get something that's more expensive, but there won't be, you know, as many presents to open. You can still give them presents. They still like opening up. Like we used to do stockings and there were, you know,
Mm-hmm.
bubble gum in there and a
And
candy
you
bar.
wrapped it.
I wrapped every single
Every
one of them
single one.
because
Every.
it took a longer time to spend
Yep.
Christmas morning.
So that's a good point. I took this page from your book, but I love giving them in their stockings like things that they need. So like
Mm-hmm.
you would give me a package of hair ties and like a good
Shampoo.
bubble bath. Yeah, like just like things that you need that are just little and cute that you can put in there. And so I do that with my kids also. Like last year they got hand sanitizer. you
Yeah,
know?
a mask, a fun mask.
Right?
You
We did get
or
them
you
fun masks
could,
last year. Yeah.
you know, or you could wrap, you know, several of those things together in a box, and they'd
Mhm.
have enough box to open up.
Yep.
It's, you know, Christmas morning is just about unwrapping and, you know, oh, that's so great, on to the next one, and oh, that's so great, and on to the next one. And I
We
mean,
make our
that's
kids
what
take
I love.
turns. Like, okay, Brady's gonna open this gift from mom, and we're gonna watch Brady open his gift, and then, okay, Brian's gonna open this gift from Tyler, and we're gonna, so we do the same thing. We try to extend the fun of Christmas morning.
Another thing with for grandparents is to buy board games and card games.
Oh yeah.
Love and arts and crafts. They love to come over here and we play cards and we have time to do that now. So
Mm-hmm.
we play cards, we play board games, and like we might have a game night and we do
Mm-hmm.
nothing but there's no iPads involved, no electronics. It's all board games, card games. They love it.
We
We have snacks.
I love that because then it leads to a memory. One year we bought Brady these. They're not pretend knives. They're like knives for kids, but you can't
The
like,
white ones.
yeah, the white ones. You can't like saw your finger off with it. And so I gave him those with the intention of like, hey, this year, like you're gonna learn how to cook a little bit. You're gonna learn how to cut up your own apples and do that kind of thing. We got Caroline and Tyler shoes with laces. Like, good job, guys. Now we're gonna learn how to tie shoes. So think about those kinds of things where you can, what's coming next for your kids and how can you prepare them and let their gifts kind of lead into those kinds
Great
of things.
ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, like last night Brady Lay got a lesson in how to do your own hair. And so giving him his like a nice brush and the right, gel for his hair or whatever. Those are good little gifts as well.
And
Okay.
plus they're gonna need shoes, so you might as well give them a pair for Christmas.
Oh, 100%. Like, so this upcoming year, we are giving our kids, instead of a whole bunch of toys, we are surprising them and taking them somewhere. And that the gift will be like the little thing that says where we're going. And they're going to need cold weather clothes that we don't own because we live in Florida where it's cold like 3 days a year. And so they're going to be getting, leading up to that gift, they're going to be getting the jacket that they need and the shoes, that kind of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and they don't know why. Like, and you can even like, we are going to give them little clues like, well, you might need a good jacket one day and that kind of thing. Oh, Nana, thanks for coming on and doing this with me.
It was fun.
It was fun. You always have such good advice. Any parting words of wisdom?
Make some memories. Whatever your favorite memories are, those are your traditions. They don't have to be what somebody else does. Make your own. And if you like to decorate cookies, but you don't want to bake cookies, then buy the store-bought ones.
That's
But
it.
this year, on teaching your kids how to decorate the real cookies.
There we go.
And how they have to do the sides and they have to do the top. And we don't put all that junk on them. We use a glaze and they turn out so pretty. So.
I love it. Wasn't that fun? Nana is the master at this stuff, and I knew that she would have some really great ideas for us. And here's what I took away from my conversation with Nana today. Granted, I have these conversations with her all the time, so I am the luckiest to have talked to her about how to do holidays in meaningful but simple ways many, many, many times. But the information and the insight that she brought today that I love the most is to pick a couple things that matter to you during the holiday season and focus on those. Focus on making those happen. You don't have to do it all. Your kids are not going to remember, the big fancy gifts. They're not going to remember the big fancy elaborate things that you did, the memories that you made. They're going to remember the little things. And I can attest to that because I was once a kid, and that is what I remember. I remember going to my grandmother's house on Christmas morning after we did Christmas morning at our own house. I can remember getting dressed up and going over there and there being like 30 people there and a great big breakfast, and we would do Christmas together. That was really meaningful. I can remember the way that my other grandmother, wrapped Christmas presents with the same wrapping paper year after year after year because she had purchased a giant roll of it at one point, and it just became her signature thing. I can remember watching Christmas Vacation with my family and passing around the night before Christmas book on Christmas Eve. Those are the things that matter, and those are the things that I remember. And I hope that as a mom, I'm able to create that for my own kids in a way that doesn't just give them great memories, but really allows us to focus on the meaning of the season, why it's important, why family is important, why our faith is important, and allows them to feel loved and welcomed and at home. Like, that's stuff that matters most to me. So I could talk about this forever, but I'm so grateful my mom joined us and was able to share some of her insight into how to make the holidays really special. As we close out this episode, I would love to say a little blessing for you as we leave this time together and get back into our days. As you usher in the holiday season, may you see more of the good that exists in the world. As your hands wrap gifts and bake cookies and decorate your home, may you feel the arms of the ones you love around you. And above all, I hope you remember the real reason you celebrate, because love came down to give you hope for a bright tomorrow forever and ever. As always, I like to leave a little tip to help you put what we talked about today into practice. So here's your task for this week. We've talked about so many things that could help you have a holiday that's a bit more happy and a bit less stressful. But I think underneath it all, there's one thing that's more important than the rest. Think about what matters most to you during the holiday season. What is it about this season that brings you the most joy? Is it connecting with people you haven't seen in a while, or spending time with the ones closest to you over shared traditions? Is it feeling the thrill of hope at the Christmas Eve service, or spending the season in the kitchen baking all kinds of yummy treats for the ones you love? Whatever it is for you, just take a second to name that thing, and then make sure you do that thing. That's it. That's your tip. That's all I get. Because like I said before, joy doesn't just happen to us. Joy and happiness come when we choose to make space for it in our lives. And naming what matters to you brings you the most joy this holiday season. That is how you are going to find joy, is by doing that thing and making space for that to happen. So that is my tip, and that is my wish for you during this holiday time. Thank you for listening to the Simplified podcast. I hope today's episode gave you some tactical ideas you can start using today to make your holiday a bit more simple and a whole lot more joyful. You can find show notes for this episode at emilylay.com/podcast, where you can check out links and resources mentioned here, and you can shop the Simplified brand of planners and products, which, by the way, make great holiday gifts. Plus, for more simplicity tips, you can find me on Instagram at emilylay and at Simplified. If you're loving this show, then I bet you might love my latest book. It is called Growing Boldly, Dare to Build a Life You Love, which is in stores right now wherever you buy books. One last thing, I love bringing you this show every week. If you love this show also, would you do me a quick favor? It would mean so much to me if you would hop over to Apple Podcasts or your very favorite podcast provider and leave the show a review. It's a small but mighty way to get the show into more people's hands who may enjoy it. Thank you so much for doing that. And until next time, thank you for listening. Bye.